or take the video and cut it up and use it in your own marketing. So one of the things that a platform like this provides is visibility, business connections, targeted education, and member advocacy. So this is one of the things that every Chamber of Commerce really pushes for their members, and this is a great way to meet all four of those criteria. So again, if you have any questions for Larry as we get into this, please text them to 713-906-3710, and I'll be able to ask them. So Larry, let's get to you. You're a realtor in the Katy area. Are you primarily residential or you do commercial as well?
I am primarily residential.
Okay.
Our company does both residential and commercial, but I focus on the residential real estate.
Okay, very good. And so why did you choose one versus the other, residential versus commercial?
You know, I really enjoy working with home buyers and sellers rather than commercial. And it's just a good way to meet people, and I enjoy the feeling of the homeowners whenever they buy their home or when they're selling their home. I just enjoy meeting people.
Okay. And I know you're in Katy, but do you specialize in one part of town, or you go all over?
I do specialize. I specialize in the Katy or West Houston area. So really anything west of Beltway 8 on out to, past Katy. I mean, but that's the West Houston is where I specialize. I can sell anywhere in Texas. Our real estate license is good all over Texas, but I specialize in Houston area, in the Katy area.
Okay. And I've heard realtors say that they can work all over. But in your experience, is this realistic? Can they work all over?
Again, they have the license that allows them to work all over, but I really think that it's best to stay in your home turf where you actually know where the homes are, that you can better serve your clientele. And I would rather stay in my backyard than drive all over Houston to the Woodlands to Galveston, because I just don't know those areas as well as you know your backyard. So,
right.
So that's why I specialize in the West Houston and Katy area.
Oh, that makes sense. I mean, especially if you're not familiar with an area, there may be things going on that if you're more familiar with that market, that particular sub-market, you'd know about and could, advise someone if they're looking in that particular area. But if you're just driving through the first time, you may not know what's going on.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. So how long have you been in real estate?
I've been a realtor since November 7th, 2017. So
wow, okay.
Almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years. So what'd you do before then?
I was in the IT and telecom business for, over 30 years.
Wow, okay. Very good. So what all did you do in IT?
Well, I worked for some of the largest IT companies that sold switches, routers, things of that nature. Most of my experience in my previous life have been in telecom, selling business telephone systems to commercial, everywhere from city governments. Actually, I think the city of Conroe was one of my customers at one point.
Really?
But primarily it was all business related. I focused on the Fortune 500 companies for selling business telephone systems, healthcare, oil and gas, all customers really. And about 2 years ago, I just decided that it was time to hang up my hat in the IT and telecom and focus on my true love, which is real estate. And so that's why I got my license and joined Gary Green, Better Homes and Gardens.
Okay. And you said your true love of real estate. How did that come about?
Well, I think my father installed that in me at a young age. We owned property in East Texas, and I always enjoyed going up there and just learning about real estate. I mean, it truly is an industry to its own. It's like IT or any other industry. Real estate has its own idiosyncrasies, and I just really enjoy it.
Yeah, well, that's great. So if someone's looking for a house, what's the best way to contact you?
Usually by cell phone. My cell phone number is 713-280-9716, and I can receive text, or you can email me at Larry, and it's spelled LAREE .WEEKS at GaryGreen.com. I also have a website that's LarryWeeks.com, and that'll go to my website. But the easiest way to reach me is by cell phone.
Okay, very good. Now, one of the things I noticed was doing some research is that you are a master's certified negotiation expert. Did you get that certification before or after becoming a realtor?
Oh, I got that after becoming a realtor. I think part of being one of the most important things that when you hire a realtor is their negotiation skills, because you are the client and I am representing you. And I think that in order to represent you fairly and to give you the best deal, you have to negotiate price. And so what you see on the MLS is always list price. And
Right.
that means that there's negotiation to get your customer the best deal.
Right.
Whether you're selling or buying, there's a negotiation involved.
Okay. Now, this isn't, I mean, being a negotiation expert, that's not a requirement for being a realtor, is it?
No, it isn't. It's just a designation. There are a lot of designations that realtors have to go to school, continuing education, to get different designations. But this one is one that I sought after because I feel it's one of the most important.
Yeah, because I think I saw it on your card, and that was what drew me to ask the question, because I think that's be an awesome skill, especially in real estate.
It is, and there's actually two phases of two different designations. One is a CNE, which is Certified Negotiation Expert, and to me, that's step one. And
Okay.
then to carry it forward to become a Master Certified Negotiation Expert, there's only 3% of the realtors nationwide that actually have the MCNE designation.
Wow, that's awesome. So now, that doesn't just pertain to real estate, right? It means you're certified to negotiate anything else?
I truly think it's a life skill, and so once you learn negotiations, then you can pretty well handle any of your life skills.
Right.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So how often do you use that when you go to the grocery store or something like that? I could just imagine every day. Huh?
You believe it or not, you can use it to your advantage most times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is awesome. That's awesome. Very good. So one of the things that a lot of people I hear, now I'm not in real estate, I'm not a professional, but I always hear, or maybe it's the common feeling out there, is that there are seasons for real estate. All right, like there's a season to buy and a season to sell. Is that true, or is that just kind of wives' tales?
No, actually, it is true. There's a season for selling. Obviously, you can sell your property 12 months of the year, but the peak season is during, I guess, when people are wanting to move for their schools.
Okay.
So from March until September is actually the peak selling season. For buyers, it's really 12 months. I mean, you can find a house basically 12 months out of the year, but people really want to move between March and September. And I would say it's so that they can move in, get settled, and have the kids ready for school in September when school starts.
Right. Okay. Well, always heard that, and I just really wasn't sure if that was, more of a myth, or if that really
It's true.
bore out in the actual data.
We're seeing that this right now is going to be a really good year. We've already started seeing lots of transactions being done.
Okay.
And it's just, April.
Yeah.
So,
I bet. Well, and I know that the people in the Houston area remember Harvey, and I know that impacted the real estate market in the Houston area. Has it really recovered from all the activity with Harvey?
I think Harvey was a disaster that impacted Houston, Katy, and definitely the real estate market. There were homes that were on the MLS that were flooded and that had to be taken off the MLS to be repaired.
Wow.
So I really think that that homes have already been, this has been over a year now that Harvey hit. So I think that we're well on the recovery.
Okay, because I know my son was buying a new house, and he put his house up on the market in the Conroe area, and it was move-in ready, and they had an offer like within the first week. And they were not ready for that. So they had to find temporary housing because these people were snatching up anything that was ready.
Yeah,
especially, like you said, before the school year, because there was people were displaced from their own homes.
Right.
And so they were looking for temporary rent housing or whatever. So
exactly. We're seeing a lot of leases.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Well, what do you think is the biggest challenge in real estate right now?
I would say finding the right house, because I think what we're seeing this year is that there's going to be an abundance of homes on the market. And of course, with the lowering of the annual percentage rate, funds are starting to get better and better for terms for buyers. And so I think that right now is a great time to be looking for real estate.
Okay. And this is not just this is over and above the normal season you said going
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
I think the last 2 years have been a real tough real estate market. But I think that right now, as a matter of fact, I saw an article in the Wall Street Journal that was saying how nationwide that the real estate market is going to be doing very well this year. Again, with plenty of surplus of inventory of homes on the market, plus the falling of the percentage rate, I think it's going to be a real good year for buyers and sellers.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
that's great. Well, we are talking with Larry Weeks, who's a realtor out of Katy, and we're going to take a break right now. So we'll be back in a few minutes. Stay tuned.
Don't forget to
What about the children sleeping in cars with nothing to eat? Families shouldn't have to struggle to survive, and children should not be homeless. Family Promise of Montgomery County serves the needs of homeless families and their children. Learn about ways you can help and learn about partnership opportunities at www.familypromiseofmc.org or call our day center at 936-441-8778.
The Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service has been dedicated to educating Texans for over a century. In 1915, the Extension Program was established under the federal Smith-Lever Act to deliver university knowledge and agricultural research findings directly to the people. Ever since, AgriLife Extension programs have addressed the emerging issues of the day, serving diverse populations across the state. Texans turn to Extension for solutions in horticulture, agriculture, 4-H and youth, and family and consumer sciences. Extension agents respond not only with answers, but also with resources and services that result in significant returns on investment to boost the economy. Join us Fridays at 1 o'clock for the AgriLife Extension Hour.
Did you know that there are over 153 million orphans in the world today? The sad reality is 99% of those kids will likely never be adopted. Core Love is an organization right here in Conroe that takes care of orphan children in Haiti, Honduras, and India. We bring the love of Jesus by providing their 6 basic needs of clean water, proper food, healthcare, education, job skills, and a loving home. Visit corelove.org, that's CORELUV.org. Will you help defend the orphan?
The Hispanic Chamber Connection is sponsored by the Yamel Insurance Agency, located at 719 Sawdust Road, Suite 103, the Woodlands, Texas. The Yamel Agency is a family-owned insurance agency that provides home, life, automobile, and umbrella insurance coverage. Since 2006, the Yamel Agency has been a bilingual insurance service for businesses and private citizens in the Montgomery County area. For more information on the Yamel Insurance Agency, please visit the Hispanic Chamber Connection at www.irlonestar.com/HCC. The Yamel Insurance Agency is available by telephone at 832-525-5656 or online www.yamelagency.com. The Yamel Insurance Agency is a sponsor of this program, and the Hispanic Chamber Connection thanks you.
Welcome back. This is the Hispanic Chamber Connection. There's a radio program that features and promotes members of the Texas Gulf Coast Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. My name is Tom Brody. I'm the Vice President of Membership for the Chamber. I'm filling in for Dr. Carlos Sanchez, who is out ill but will be returning very soon. Just as a reminder, if you have any questions that you'd like to ask Larry Weeks, who's our guest today, please text them to 713-906-3710. So again, we're talking with Larry Weeks, and we were just talking about Hurricane Harvey and the impact it had on the real estate market. And we talked about some of the challenges in real estate. And one of the things I'd like to know is there's all kinds of realtors out there, big firms, small firms, independents. Tell me what some of the advantages are of using a realtor from a big firm like Gary Green versus somebody's brother-in-law that just got their license last week.
Well, thanks for asking. That's a really good question. And one of the things that I try to express upon my sellers when I'm listing their home is that when you go with a firm like Better Homes and Gardens, Gary Green, you have that name recognition. You they associate Better Homes and Gardens with quality. And
Okay.
so when you have a quality firm and a name that's recognized nationally as Better Homes and Gardens, it's like, when you go to list their home, oh, your house is just like in Better Homes and Gardens magazine.
There you go. Yep.
And but another really good reason to list with Better Homes and Gardens is that there's well over 1,000 real estate agents. So when you sign up with me as your agent, you're not only getting me, but you're getting 1,000 other agents that are looking and helping you to sell your house. So when you're selling a house, you don't care where the buyer comes from, right? But
Okay.
you have 1,000 other real estate agents that are looking at your house that could have a potential buyer for that house.
And they're all over, right? So
They're all over.
So they could be from out of state or out of your city and say that they've got someone who's moving
Exactly.
that you may not have known about. Okay.
We also have Better Homes and Gardens. Gary Green has 23 offices across Houston. So
Wow.
we have 23 offices, and that stretches from Galveston all the way to the Woodlands.
Okay.
So, and the various sizes of real estate offices. So you may have 200 agents in one office. You may have 100. You may have, but typical size of a Gary Green office is about 100 agents.
Wow.
And so you're getting high visibility. And not only do the real estate agents see your listing, but we're also marketing your listing to well over 1,000 websites nationally. So to get that recognition out there. So if you're trying to sell your house, then Gary Green's the place to do it. That's why we've been number one in the real estate market, according to the MLS, for the last 3 years.
That's fantastic. Wow. So I know that a lot of people have misconceptions about everything, but I'd say, in your opinion, what are the three biggest misconceptions about realtors?
I think that people really don't understand, what realtors do and
Okay.
the value that we bring. I think they think we just show up and turn the key and show the house, and that's just a very, very small part of what we do. We actually have to go to school to learn and be certified and licensed to be a realtor. The laws are constantly changing. Real estate is probably one of the most regulated industries there is. And so we have to abide by the law. And so we have to know what the laws are. When you go to market your house, there's a lot of things that we can and cannot do. And so having a licensed realtor to sell your home or to help you buy a home is in everyone's best interest, because you are the customer, and realtors know that. They want to help you buy your house.
Okay. Now you said there's things that you can't do. What are some of the things that you couldn't do?
Well, according to fair housing, we can't talk about religion or demographics or anything like that. Those are things that we just can't talk about. That's against the law.
So like religion of people that living in the neighborhood or around the house or something like that?
Yes. If
Okay.
I'm asked a direct question like that, I can't answer it.
Wow. Okay. So what do you say? Just I can't answer it, or you
I
try to change the subject, or how do you get around that?
Well, I really just say I can't answer it.
Okay.
And quite frankly, if they're real curious, they can I can show them. I guess point them to a website, or on har.com. There's information about the communities.
Okay.
And I probably wouldn't know it anyway. So so I'd be honest when I said I don't know.
Right. Okay. Well, very good. So when people are looking at trying to pick a realtor, what's the best question that you think a person should ask to see if a realtor is someone that they are ready to use?
That is a really good question. I think if you are going to sell your house, I think that one of the key questions to ask is, what are you going to do to market my house? And if you're going to buy a house, I think that's a similar question. You say, what are you going to do to help me find the right house? And I'm hoping that the qualified person, realtor, will tell them, give them a presentation on what they're going to do to market their house. And the same goes for buying a house. There should be a buyer's presentation, so that the customer knows exactly the steps that you're going to be taking to help them in their best interest.
Okay. Yeah, that's perfect. If someone's, I guess it's getting back to a personal experience I had. If you're listing your house and if it takes like a week to get the first showing, I'm assuming that's a bad sign, right? You should have people kind of almost lined up.
Well, in today's market where you have the internet and everything, when the house goes market, you're certainly going to see within the first 2 weeks a high number of people coming to see your house.
Okay.
And I would say within the first month is going to start trickling off.
Okay.
When it's brand new, certainly you're going to first 2 weeks is going to be the most popular, and then week 3, 4, 5, and 6 are going to be a little bit slower, but it just depends on the market, the neighborhood, and the economy. I mean, again, right now with the interest rates being so low, I think there are going to be a lot more buyers in the market.
Okay.
And there may be a competition and multiple offers placed on homes that are being bought. So,
Okay. Interesting. All right. I think we talked about this a little bit, but I'm going to ask it a different way. What do you think are the most challenging clients, buyers or sellers? And why do you think that?
Oh man, you're hitting the hard balls now. So. I love both. I mean, buyers and sellers, they're both unique. I think probably sellers may be a little bit more difficult, only in the aspect that, it's their house and their investment. And when you're the seller's rep, you want to try and get the most for your client's house.
Right.
And the other key is that you can't overprice it, because if you overprice it, then you won't have people coming to look at it.
Right.
And if you underprice it, then you're leaving money on the table. So it's very important to make sure that the home is priced right, and which will make your customer happy. And I think having good open communications with your client, both buyers and sellers, will make both of them very happy.
Yeah.
And that's what I strive for. I mean, I strive to make sure that that going into the deal, that both buyers and sellers realize that I'm there to help them. I'm there to protect their interest in both buying and selling.
Yeah. And I know that this is probably something that you guys don't deal with much, but do you have buyers that actually want to be there when people come see their house?
I have had that only once.
Okay.
We really kind of discourage the homeowner being there when we bring clients over to see their house.
Right.
It's just it makes the buyers feel a little bit intimidated having the owner there.
Right.
And so we actually suggest that the owner not be there when we're showing their house.
Yeah. Well, and one thing with all the home remodeling shows and things that you see on TV, I mean, that's the one thing that struck me is that my wife likes to watch these, so I'm watching them with her, and people come into someone else's house and they just trash it immediately. I mean, they're saying, I don't like this, I don't like that. And so I can just imagine if a buyer hears that's got to be frustrating to them, because to them it's their home, their castle.
Exactly.
And you have somebody walking in and say, why did they pick this color? And it's like, oh, and just I can't imagine. I mean, I know there's a good reason not to have that, but I didn't know if you had ever buyers that say, I want to be here when people come see it.
Only once, and it is their house and it's their right. If they want to be there, then you certainly can allow them to be there.
Okay.
But we just strongly encourage them not to be there, and that's it. It's only happened once to me. So
Yeah, well, I can imagine
it's
that.
very rare.
Yeah, because like I said, I think that people would not want to hear the true comments that strangers give about their house just
Right.
because they have a certain look that they're going for.
Right.
So in that category, what's been your most challenging client, and how did you handle it?
Oh, I haven't had any challenging clients.
None
No.
whatsoever.
All my clients I love them all, and I'm hoping that the feeling is mutual.
No, that's awesome. So how do people find you most often?
Most often, there's a number of ways. They can go to the Gary Green website
Okay.
and look for agents, and they can pick agents that way. They can also call our main office, every office has, of course, a direct number, and if we get a lot of call-ins too. So people calling in looking for agents to help them buy a house. I get leads that way.
Okay.
I get leads from my Facebook. I have my sphere of influence, which, people that I've known for over the past 30 years, that they know I'm in real estate. I've reached out to them, and so I get a lot of business both from sphere and also from call-ins.
Okay,
into the
awesome.
office. Yeah.
So if someone's calling in, I mean, I guess is that kind of on a rotational basis, like who gets the next call, or how does that work?
That's a very good question. We actually have a sign-up sheet, and every agent in our office takes a rotation.
Okay.
And so, because we never know. I mean, you can't have the same guy sitting on the phones every day at 3:00.
Right.
So it's a rotation. So everyone has an opportunity to do what they call floor time.
Okay.
And so when calls come in, they're directed to a particular number on the phone, and we all know whose slot it is to be on floor time.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
very good. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Okay. Well, again, we're talking with Larry Weeks. He's a relatively new member of the chamber out at the Katy area. And so we're going to take a break, and we'll be back in a few minutes.
Lone Star Community Radio is looking for those who are interested in hosting their own talk show. With monthly and weekly slots available on Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1, and on irlonestar.com. Start your own podcast, create your first YouTube channel, and be on TV. Contact Lone Star Community Radio online at irlonestar.com or call the station message line at 936-647-3776.
Is there someone you know who is hooked on vintage aircraft? Follow the Commemorative Air Force and its fleet of World War II planes, including the mighty B-17 Flying Fortress Texas Raiders, which is based in Conroe, Texas. Texas Raiders tours locally and all around the United States, offering the public a chance to put their hands on aviation history. What could be a more perfect gift than a flight on a historic B-17? Taking to the sky on the iconic bomber is an experience that will never be forgotten. For the touring schedule, reservations, or more information, go to b17texasraiders.org or call 855-FLY-A-B-17.
The Hispanic Chamber Connection is sponsored by the Yamel Insurance Agency, located at 719 Sawdust Road, Suite 103, the Woodlands, Texas. The Yamel Agency is a family-owned insurance agency that provides home, life, automobile, and umbrella insurance coverage. Since 2006, the Yamel Agency has been a bilingual insurance service for businesses and private citizens in the Montgomery County area. For more information on the Yamel Insurance Agency, please visit the Hispanic Chamber Connection at www.irlonestar.com/HCC. The Yamel Insurance Agency is available by telephone at 832-525-5656 or online www.yamelagency.com. The Yamel Insurance Agency is a sponsor of this program, and the Hispanic Chamber Connection thanks you.
For those of you who like your partners, your gumbo, and your music salty, well, we're here to help with the music. Julian Shea here, host of Lone Star Country Nights Thursday, your weekly dose of roots and Americana and all the music that makes this part of the country special. We stir in Western swing, honky-tonk, Zydeco, Texas blues, outlaw country, and put a pinch of red dirt, and then we smoke it over a slow fire. Then listen to the results Thursday nights on Conroe's 104.5 and 106.1 and worldwide at irlonestar.com.
Don't miss Lone Star Community Radio on TV and YouTube. Our talk show and music shows are featured on Our City TV, Suddenlink Channel 12, and have their own YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe to keep up with posted shows and comment on them below the video.
Well, welcome back. My name is Tom Brody, and this is the Hispanic Chamber Connection, where we feature members of the Texas Gulf Coast Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. Today, we're talking with Larry Weeks, who's a realtor in the Katy area, and we'll get back talking to Larry in a minute. But one thing I wanted to talk about is a little chamber business right now. If you're a member of the Gulf Coast Hispanic Chamber and you haven't signed up to be in our chamber app, I strongly suggest that you do that. Larry and I were just talking about that off air, and the one thing that people may not understand is that within the chamber app, the company that we're partnering with is a Google partner. So they're going to build you a landing page within the chamber app, and that's separate from your own web page. And if you have Google Analytics, if someone clicks through to your web page from the chamber app, you'll be able to see that. So you'll see that as the source that the visitor is coming from. They're coming from the chamber app. The great thing about that, it's almost because the company we're partnering with, Chamber Nation, is a Google partner. The fact that you're on a program or a platform that is part of a Google partner, that's going to elevate your relevance, almost as if you were paying for pay-per-click advertising. So it's one of those things. It's an added benefit. So if you haven't signed up for it, please do so. If you're getting our newsletter, there's a link to sign up for the Chamber app in the newsletter. For existing members, it's a $49 one-time charge, and that's to get all of your information from your website and created in the app itself. If you're a new member and you are joining, like in the last few weeks or today, you definitely it's covered in the cost of your membership. So that's one of the additional reasons why to join the chamber, because that's going to help increase your visibility immensely. Even if you don't have a website, this landing page is kind of like, you can think of it like a mini website. So people will be able to find you in the app. If you're a plumber or AC guy or realtor, they can search by those keywords, or they can search by your name and then find out some information about you. And with a button click, they'll actually be calling you or going to your website to find out more information. So it's one of those great chamber benefits that we always talk about, taking advantage of it. So if you haven't signed up for the app, please do so. And if you're not getting the newsletter, please reach out to me. Send me an email at tom@tombrody.biz. That's TOM@TOMBRODIE.biz. And just give me your email and make sure that we get you set up on that newsletter. Alternatively, you can text me at 713-906-3710. So getting back talking to Larry now, we've talked about some of the challenges you had. Of course, you said you have no challenging clients, and that's awesome. But one of the things that we talked about a little bit is sometimes buyers have a hard time coming to a decision. That they like everything they see, and they just. I guess my question is, how do you help them come to a decision? Because a lot of times they may like two houses equally well, and they can't make a decision. So, it's just one of those things where it's like coin toss. So how do you help them in that situation?
I think the ultimate decision, of course, is theirs. But I think that if they were really struggling between two properties, that I would basically be their coach.
Okay.
And I would lay out both property MLSs, the information about the property, and about maps, and just find out which one they really liked, and just try to help them through that decision. Because I think a lot of times that you become really close friends with your clients, and that that just being there for a sounding board, I think is a big benefit to them.
Okay. Oh, awesome. So I know that one thing when people are looking for homes, trying to go out and actually visit the homes is always
daylight hours. So if we do see it at night and it's something that the floor plan they like, and all the aesthetics of the house is pleasing to them, then I encourage them to come back on the weekends. Just come by during the day so they actually can see a better looking at walk around the house and just feel how the home fits them and how they feel about the home.
right.
Because a home looks different in the day than it does at night. And so it's just about, getting them comfortable with the house, so they can make the right decision.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that brought up another question. I know a lot of realtors have like open houses where they just kind of open it up to anybody walking in rather than having a set appointment. Do open houses work?
Oh, they're great.
Yeah.
Open houses, I try to do an open house every Sunday and every Saturday. And usually, and they're always listed on har.com.
Mhm.
So we advertise the hours and the locations, and that way you can come by and feel free to walk around the house. I've had clients that go out and do 2 or 3 houses a weekend, and then come back and say, hey, I like this one, I don't like that one.
Okay.
And that way, it's a good use of my time and their time as well. They feel comfortable in going to the open houses. It's a great way to kind of feel and see the houses. You can see multiple houses at a time without having to schedule a showing appointment.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, very good. So I know you said that you work with both buyers and sellers, but what percentage of your business is working with buyers versus sellers?
I think it depends on the time of year.
Okay.
I mean, I think between March and September, I see a lot of sellers. I think the percentage-wise, I'd have to say I'm probably 60-40 sellers
Okay.
versus buyers. But like I said, it sometimes I have more buyers than I do sellers. I mean, it's a flux.
Okay.
Everything works in a cycle.
So if you're kind of heavier on sellers right now, where are they going? Are they downsizing, or are they going out of state, or what?
Perfect question. That's exactly right. Some sellers are downsizing.
Okay.
We see a lot of people moving to other cities within Texas, or sometimes out of state. So their homes has to be put on the market, and we need to sell them quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there a exodus after Harvey? People just saying, "I've had enough. I'm getting out of this area."
I didn't see that. I didn't
Okay.
see that at all. I think a lot of the people that I've talked to were, basically going to rebuild their house. I mean,
Wow.
they rebuilt the house and then they're staying there.
Yeah.
So again, I think everyone has a different take on that, but I think that most of the people that I have talked to, had home insurance, flood insurance,
Right.
which I think is a great idea for
Oh,
everyone
yeah.
to have, I mean, especially in the Gulf Coast region. Put their house back together, and life moves on.
Yeah. Well, very good. So yeah, that's one of the things that I tell people. I've always had flood insurance and I've never needed it. Got close, but even if you're not in the flood zone,
Yeah.
then it's so cheap. You should have it. I mean,
should
that's
have
one
it.
thing that if you don't have flood insurance in Southeast Texas, that's just crazy to me.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if you're in a flood zone, it's required, but if you're close,
Yeah.
you got to have it. It's
Yeah.
just you never know what's going to happen.
You just never know.
Yeah.
And it's such a cheap insurance to get. I think everyone should have it.
Yeah. And in fact, when I sold my house, I had flood insurance and they rezoned it. So, but I was still grandfathered in at the lower rate.
Right.
And I told the buyer, I said, have you guys got your flood insurance yet? And they said, oh, no, we'll get that later. I went, no, you need to come talk to me and listen, because I can pass on the insurance at the lower rate. I forgot what the rate was now, but it was like 6 times
Yeah.
what mine was if they went and bought a new policy versus taking over mine.
Exactly.
And that was something they didn't realize.
Wow.
And a lot of people just don't.
Yeah.
And I was kind of surprised because we were pretty close to closing at that point. And I said, no, you don't do this. So, that's one of those things that you should have. Another question, how long does it typically take buyers that you've worked with to find and purchase a new home?
Again, it depends on the buyer.
Okay.
I've had, I'd say typically, 3 weeks.
Okay.
It depends on the buyers, how flexible they are about seeing houses.
Okay.
I can schedule, one showing a day if they have the time.
Right.
Most buyers don't. Most buyers want to see it on the weekends. So if I work with a buyer, then I try to work within their schedule. And if they want to see 2 or 3 houses on a Saturday,
Okay.
then we'll do that. But usually it takes about, I'd say 3 weeks to really get a good feel for what they're looking for.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I had a question and went blank. You talk about showing houses in the evening and the weekends. What does that do to your personal life? I mean, it sounds like you're constantly working. How do you manage that?
Man, I have the best wife in the world. I mean, she, we've been married for 24 years.
Yeah.
And so you just make it work.
That's awesome.
know?
That's awesome. What's your wife's name?
Suzanne.
Suzanne. Very good. Well, Suzanne, just to let you know, he did not pay me to say that. That was something that we didn't even discuss. So that was volunteered there. So that's awesome. Well, very good. We are talking with Larry Weeks here. He's a realtor out of Katy, a relatively new member of the chamber. And we're up to a break right now. So stay tuned and we'll be back in a few minutes.
Lone Star Community Radio is Montgomery County's radio station with talk, music, weather, and traffic for Montgomery County. Have a question or comment about one of our shows? Want to know how to reach a host? Just contact the station at irlonestar.com or call in and leave a message at 936-647-3776. Get involved with your community with Lone Star Community Radio.
Did you know there are more than 790 abused and neglected children currently in foster care in Montgomery County? Will you help make a difference? I'm Allie Stevens with Casa Child Advocates of Montgomery County. We train and support volunteers to be the voice of children in the foster care system. Kids are removed from their home because of abuse and neglect, and we need volunteers just like you to advocate for these children. To learn more about becoming an advocate, please visit CasaSpeaksForKids.com. That's CasaSpeaksForKids.com.
The Hispanic Chamber Connection is sponsored by the Amel Insurance Agency, located at 719 Sawdust Road, Suite 103, the Woodlands, Texas. The Amel Agency is a family-owned insurance agency that provides home, life, automobile, and umbrella insurance coverage. Since 2006, the Amel Agency has been a bilingual insurance service for businesses and private citizens in the Montgomery County area. For more information on the Amel Insurance Agency, please visit the Hispanic Chamber Connection at www.irlonestar.com/HCC. The Amel Insurance Agency is available by telephone at 832-525-5656 or online www.amelagency.com. The Amel Insurance Agency is a sponsor of this program, and the Hispanic Chamber Connection thanks you.
Welcome back, everyone. This is the Hispanic Chamber Connection. My name is Tom Brody, the Vice President of Membership of the Chamber. And we're talking with Larry Weeks, who is a new member of the Chamber and a realtor out in the Katy area. So it's been really interesting, and I've learned a lot about real estate from a realtor's perspective that, I've bought and sold houses, but I've never really seen that side of the business. So it's been very interesting. And one of the things that I was also going to ask you, Larry, is that I can't imagine how many people you're working with at a particular time, but do you have an optimum number of clients that you like to work with?
Oh, that's a good question. I really like to work with about 4 people at a time. I mean, I feel like any more than that, it really kind of gets crazy. But and I think 4 is an optimal number for me. I can juggle my schedule and meet their schedule,
right,
and just keep everybody on a good schedule.
Yeah, I guess that brings up another question: is how do you keep everyone's wants and needs separate? Because if you're dealing with 4 people, I think it would be it seems like it'd be easy to say, okay, I talked to this couple and they want that, and this couple wants something different. How do you keep them all separate, the wants and needs for everybody?
Great question. I take really good notes. I'm a really good listener. And that is really the key. Once I meet with a client, I get a profile.
Okay.
And so I have them fill out a profile of what they're looking for exactly. Then I go to the MLS and try to match that profile. And I can set them up in the MLS under what we call a concierge service to where that the MLS keeps their profile, basic profile, just basically, number of bedrooms, bathrooms, 2-story, 1-story, things like that. And then in the geographic area that they want to move or they want to live in, then and it kind of feeds me the listings as soon as they come on the market, or those that have already been on the market for a while. I review them, and then the ones that actually meet that client's perfect criteria, I email that to them for them to review. And then from that point, we go out and do showings. I schedule showings, and then we go out and see the houses. And then if they like what they see, then we make offers. If not, we keep looking.
Okay, very good. Now, I know that some states have different laws as far as real estate goes. And can you buy or sell a home without a realtor in Texas?
You can. It is legal to buy or sell a home without a realtor in Texas. However, I would strongly recommend against doing it yourself. The laws have really kind of gotten very, very strict.
Okay.
And just to keep yourself on the right side of the law, have a good realtor, whether it's me or anyone else. Some of the things that you may not be able to do yourself is do a survey, research title, things of that nature that the general public really aren't skilled to do.
Right.
You could do it, but why put yourself through that effort? I mean, just hire a realtor that knows the business and can do it for you.
Yeah. What are some of the? I mean, are you familiar with some of the problems that people will run into? I mean, without.
The worst thing in the world is to have somebody say, "Oh, well, I love your house. I want to buy it." Well, and then they don't have the financial stability to make that purchase,
Okay.
and then you've actually pulled your house off the market, things like that. I mean, it's so important to have a realtor involved that again, he's working in your best interest, and to make sure that the people that are actually looking at your house are pre-qualified, that they have the financial backing to do the transaction in a timely fashion.
Right. Okay. Well, very good. One thing I was gonna ask you. Do you have other people? I mean, I guess other people trying to act as a realtor, and coming to you with leads, just kind of outside Gary Green, to say, hey, can you show this house or give me your opinion, or asking you like for free advice? Has that ever happened to you?
Well, advice is free, but no, actually, I don't.
Okay.
I try to if someone called and asked if I would show a house, I'd be happy to.
Right.
If it was in my area.
Okay.
If not, then I'll subdivision out there. It's going to be May the 4th, and it's going to be from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. On May the 4th.
Okay, great.
You're all welcome.
Very good. Well, that's great information to know. If you're looking for a house in the Katy area, please go see Larry. Larry, give us your phone number again real quick.
My number is 713-280-9716.
Very good. Well, this is Tom Brody, and this has been the Hispanic Chamber Connection, and we will see you guys next week.
Thanks for checking out this show on Lone Star Community Radio, Montgomery County's community radio station. This show is owned and produced by Lone Star Community Radio and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. For more information about the show, to be a guest, or to sponsor, just contact the studio at 936-647-3776 to leave a message, or email us at lscrstudios@gmail.com.